Oh, my furry whiskers. I'm late. I'm late for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late.
Now, before you say it, I'll say it for you.
Hey, yo. Hey, why don't you dumbass upload nothing on the first impression video? What the hell was that? You said there was gonna be a first impressions video, and instead, I got some bull, a 2-hour discussion that I'm not gonna watch, and now you decide to talk about something there, bro. What's up with that? What's up with you? You switching on me.
And before I answer any of this question, I'd just like to say, first of all, Insert Generic. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Smash Talk. And in today's episode, my friends, we are going to be talking about some things that happened in the Direct. Everything besides
7:59 a.m.
I've been training my whole life for the day I could join the Krusty crew, and now I'm ready.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
I feel like I don't have anything to say. I can just, we can just move on, you know what I'm saying? We can just move on, bro. We can just move on. Controversy and stuff aside, this is basically gonna be me talking about everything else now. Before we begin, yes, I know I said I was gonna do first impressions video or whatever. Maybe I'll still do a video on Byleth. I'm not 100% sure, but I think for now I'm gonna focus on other stuff. I actually did record the video about Byleth and everybody, but here's the thing, like, for some reason I can't find it. I can't find it. I looked all over, I couldn't find it. But either way, it's here nor there. So we're gonna be doing this over. So today we're gonna be talking about everything in the Direct. I'm gonna try to keep everything brief and straight to the point and kind of just go over everything that happened. So we're gonna go over the Byleth controversy. I know it's late, but it's whatever, man. I'm always late, so who cares? We're gonna talk about that. I want to talk about the Cuphead stuff, and then I also want to go ahead and talk about the Fighter Pass number 6, and then overall, like, opinion on the other Fighter Passes, I guess you could say. So to start off, let's talk about Byleth. I'm not going to really say anything about the people who respond. I mean, y'all know y'all are idiots. I just want to kind of bring up that a couple things. A, I think this was once again miscommunication on both parties' fault. I feel like Nintendo should have been a little more clear about it, but at the same time, I feel like people should stop assuming like the ultimate best case scenario and think more realistically when it comes to what people can and cannot say. Basically, this all stems from the thing that Reggie said a long time ago.
Oh, Reggie.
Lots of people think that Sakurai said every single character was going to be of a new franchise, but from what I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I know, people are saying it based on Reggie's statement at the Game Awards when Joker was first revealed, where he was talking about the DLC and how things were going to be structured. And this is what he said.
And so this gives you a flavor of how we're approaching the DLC. So the DLC, there's going to be 5 characters. Each character will come with a stage. It'll come with a collection of music. Yeah. These are going to be characters that are new to the series, just like Joker from Persona 5, yes. Characters that you would not anticipate to be in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
So notice, I watched through the entire thing. I played the entire clip. I watched it like multiple times. And from it, I understand how people can interpret that means, oh, each character is going to be from a new franchise. But that's not what he meant by that. And I said this in my DLC Part 1 video, actually. If you want to go check that out, where I was talking about the DLC in Smash Brothers. I talked about that specific thing. And that I knew people were going to get it twisted. And that people had 2 different perceptions is out, and I was on the side that thought when he was talking about new series, and I still think this, that Reggie was talking about how Sakurai said that because every single character that has ever been in Smash in the past is in the game, the DLC is going to focus on brand new fighters that are completely different from the other fighters. There's not going to be any clones, Echo fighters, any of that. They're going to be their own fighter. And that's what I took from it. He said no Echo fighters. There's no Echo fighters in the pack.
Since we already included every fighter from the past games, that means there are no more fighters to include unless we develop new fighters from scratch. And we're not talking about Echo fighters.
He said they're gonna all be they're all gonna be new characters. And when he says new characters, that's all he meant by that. Because I'm thinking to myself, why would Reggie say something like that and hint something like that towards the audience? That's just me personally, especially that early on. I just don't think that's the case. The other thing you guys gotta understand is that this is the type of character that we thought Nintendo was gonna pick in the first place. Because as you guys know, Nintendo chose the roster for all the fighters. And I think for Nintendo choosing the roster and how brain dead they can be sometimes when it comes to listening to their fans, I think they did a pretty damn good job. Now, yes, was it bad timing to add in Byleth during this time? Yeah, sure, okay, fine, I'll agree with you there. I'm not saying that there aren't too many Fire Emblem characters, or maybe Byleth was poorly timed, but I think Byleth deserved to be in Smash because of how Three Houses was doing. And on top of that, you gotta admit that Three Houses is one of the best-selling Fire Emblem games, period, and I think it's like a turning point for the series. Personally, I think a lot of the series are gonna be in the structure of how easily to get into Three Houses were. Now, before I continue on, I just want to say that I'm not saying that Nintendo is completely in the right. I didn't really explain it well in the initial recording of this video, but I will say that Nintendo made a lot of mistakes here and there when putting this character after all the other 4 really hype characters that we got in Smash Brothers. And I think it would have been a better idea to have them revealed around the same time Hero was revealed. So yeah, I think Byleth would have been a better reveal at E3 rather than being the very last character to reveal. I think that was just a very like meh thing, especially considering the entire direct itself was more like it seemed like it was pushing Fire Emblem Three Houses like the game wasn't out yet, you know. It was like an advertisement kind of. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that. I feel like E3 would have been the best time, especially if you consider that Sakurai played the game months prior like he said he did. He would have probably had to play it around either late April or early May, something around that time. So yeah, even if you want to say that they didn't have any gameplay at the time, they could have pulled a Terry and not have shown gameplay and then showed gameplay later on when they in the video presentation. That would have inevitably followed that reveal. So yeah, because people were disappointed anyway with Hero, you may as well have Byleth, people be disappointed, then finish out with Banjo, and you have Byleth come out, Banjo come out, then you have Hero come out in the fall, and then you have Terry come out to finish off the roster. That's kind of that unexpected pick, similar to how Bayonetta was the final unexpected pick in Smash 4. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to say here. Sorry it kind of didn't articulate well, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say. Nintendo isn't completely in the right here, but at the same time, I don't think, once again, it warrants, especially considering that something also I didn't really mention in the video, that Nintendo chose the roster, so why are you mad at Sakurai for it? Nintendo chose this. They chose this character. Sakurai and the team are just the ones who have to make it, so don't get mad at Sakurai. But we're kind of past this whole thing, so I'm not even gonna really mention it. Anyways, that's all I want to say. Alright. On to the damn video. I'm tired of talking. So I think with that being said, depending on how it changes Fire Emblem in the future, I think that Byleth being in Smash makes a lot of sense. You don't have to like Byleth. No one has to like the character. Nobody said you even have to buy the character. And if you bought the character, well, then just don't play him. It's as simple as that. If you don't want to look at him, if you don't want to buy him, don't buy him. And next time, for this next fighter pass, just don't buy it ahead of time. But I like all the characters. You know, once again, I think Byleth is a little disappointing, and we'll get into that later when we get into Byleth, but it is what it is. Also, for all you math whizzes out there, if you calculate the amount the DLC pack costs altogether, and then you calculate the amount the fighters passes cost, which is around $6, 6 times 5 is $30. The DLC pack itself for the season pass is $24.99. So essentially, think about it for all of you guys who are still mad at buying Byleth, that you're only spending like $1 on him, and you're spending full price for the rest. If you really want to be technical and you really want to be angry and stuff, think about it like that. Maybe that'll calm you down a bit. All right. I'm just saying. I think it works. The math does itself. Other than that, everything else that I could say, Zero said in his video talking about the whole Byleth situation. So I'll go ahead ahead and link that in the iCard above if you guys want to go check that out. Basically, he's talking about the Fire Emblem factor and the fact that it's not the actual character, it's the fact that it's a Fire Emblem character that people are angry, and that is 100% fact. If this moveset was tied to any other character, no one would care. No one would care, but because it's a Fire Emblem character, because Byleth has blue hair, he looks like Marth, it is what it is. And I understand, and I do think in the future, they're not going to have as many Fire Emblem characters in the game. I think that wholeheartedly. And I'll make a video on that later, but that's what I think. So overall, my opinion on Byleth personally, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. Okay, so when I did my reaction, I said something along the lines of, and I think I talked about this before, where I said that Byleth was, a lot of things that they had for Byleth, I was going to use for Steve. And I'm not going to explain exactly what that is, but basically, well, yeah, I am. Being a stance change character. A stance change character being a character that switches weapons, and depending on which weapon they switch on, depends on the type of moveset they have. And each one will be different depending on what item the character has. I think this would overall work for a Fire Emblem character, and it would have made a lot of sense for it. Also, it would have been really hype and would have made the fight very, very unique and very intricate and have a lot of depth behind it, which is why I was so hyped about it. But then when he was explaining it, I realized that that wasn't the case, and it's just dependent on the direction of the C-stick that you throw down, basically. And while that's cool and all, I just feel like that's very disappointing for the moveset, where essentially he's the same character, it's just he's using an axe instead of a sword. Instead of swinging around a sword, he's swinging around an axe. It's basically the same thing as throwing around an axe and lance and all that. I would have preferred it if they did like a stance change character. I think that would have been really cool, and I think that would have been a cool way to kind of incorporate, at least if people are mad about Byleth, to excite those people who are excited about like different moveset things like I am. We don't have a stance change character in Smash yet. I guess that's a proper term for it, a stance change character. We don't have that kind of character yet in Smash, and I think Byleth overall would have been a better option. And once again, I was gonna say for Steve, but we'll save that for the video, because that's why the video's taking so damn long, by the way. But anyways, that's how I kind of feel. So overall, I'm disappointed, unfortunately, on my expectations, because that's what I thought it was, and it is my fault that I'm disappointed. But at the same time, it's like, it's not the end of the world, and I'm not mad about it. You know, I'm glad he's in the game. I think he deserves to be in the game, and I thought he was going to be in the game in the first place, so I'm not mad about him. I'm just disappointed by his moveset is all, and that's essentially my entire opinion of him. I don't have much else to say. I think he's my least favorite of the 5 fighters, but it's not worth me complaining about, because we're getting 6 whole new ones, and the 4 we did get were amazing, so I'm not complaining. Byleth is cool in my book, essentially. That's what this all boils down to. Other than that, I have no other opinion of Byleth other than that. Facts. Alright? Okay, so ultimately, I think that Byleth, while it was a disappointing finale, and I won't admit that it's not, it's okay, because we had 4 other amazing characters that were in the game that people were hyped for. I don't care what region you were from, alright? Someone was hyped for that damn character. I don't care if it's a character that you weren't hyped from. You don't represent the world, okay? Hero, Japan love. The Banjo-Kazooie, the West love. Joker, a lot of people love. Terry, a lot of people love Terry as well. Byleth, there are still Fire Emblem people who played 3 Houses that really like the character, and ultimately, are you really that surprised that he's in the game at all? To be honest, it's not worth getting mad for. And once again, I will say this, it's okay to be angry, but to get to the point where you're gonna threaten the developers and you're saying Sakurai should be fired just because he's doing his freaking job, you're just being a freaking asshole. So just get off the internet, go outside and go for a walk, my guy, because you need to just calm down for a bit. You're that angry about a character in a video game being in Smash, and then you're threatening the people. What is wrong with you? Either way, though, I don't want to talk about that too long. That's all I gotta say. Anything else, you guys can go check out the hour-long video we did where it was kind of like a podcast thing where I talked with Darwin and quote-unquote my agent in the video, and then I'll put the time on screen. So go to that video, go to this time, and if you want to hear more about Byleth and my opinions on him, go check that out. But other than that, I think Byleth's a cool character. Once again, I think I am disappointed. I'm not gonna go too much into it, or else that'll make that whole section irrelevant. So it is what it is. We're gonna move on now, because there's so many things to talk about when it comes to the roster. So for starters, let's talk about the other thing people were really hyped for, and that was Cuphead being in Smash Bros. Now, Cuphead being in Smash Bros. As a Mii Fighter costume. Now, I've played Cuphead, and I love the series. I remember in my Microsoft Nintendo video, I was talking about how Cuphead could be in Smash Bros. Because of the DLC that's coming out, and then on top of that, you have the fact that Cuphead was revealed on the Switch a long time ago in that Indies Direct, or whatever you want to call it. This is a road for that, and the Microsoft and Nintendo were very buddies. They probably were in talks about this for a while now, ever since talking about Banjo. So it makes a lot of sense for the character to be in Smash, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I also made this video when talking about Sans in Smash. I kind of took that one at a different angle than I'm going to take this one, and I feel like with Cuphead being in Smash Brothers, I feel like that closes the door a little bit for other indie reps to be in the game, and I think that kind of grounds my thinking of who could be in Smash Bros. So for example, I feel like a lot of people want Shantae, and I know a lot of people really want Shantae, and I understand I might get like freaking crucified for this, but I feel like Shantae could easily just be a Mii costume. I think she could easily be a Mii costume represented as Shantae, the fighter from that series. I think once again Shantae could be over Mii Brawler. Shovel Knight I feel like could be a really cool slot for a Mii Fighter costume. Have a shovel instead of a sword, and then have him copy over Mii Sword Fighter. And I know people are gonna crucify me for this one. Now, as much as I want to make a video on this character, I mean, can't deny the facts now. Steve from Minecraft could definitely be a costume. I can 100% see Steve from Minecraft as a character, not as a character, but as a Mii costume. I can also see him as a character, but it is what it is. This goes back to an interview had with a representative from Mojang. I don't know who, but they said that Steve would not be a good character to have in Smash Brothers, and that like it would be a bad idea. And I remember Obese Rob told me that a while ago in I believe the DLC part 2 that I made. I believe he told me in that one that Mojang did say that, and you know, I'll look it up and show you guys the evidence there. And then we talked about it also in the episode. So once again, I'm not gonna go too much into that, but I feel like Cuphead kind of opens the door for more people to kind of be Mii fighters. I think they're gonna have full-on Mii fighters. Ultimately, I like what they're doing with the Mii fighters. I think it's a really cool idea how they're taking characters and representatives from different companies that people have been asking for a long time, because a lot of people have been asking for Cuphead. However, I think Cuphead fits the mold of a Mii fighter a lot. Like, I feel like a Mii fighter is good for Cuphead. Besides, I mean, you see half the moves that the Mii gunner does, and it makes sense to have like this pea shooter could be the beam attack. You know, you have the bomb attack that makes a lot of sense because there is kind of something like that in Cuphead, and he has a lot of shooting attacks, so it makes sense that to happen. Just like, you know, Shovel Knight also does he flings a lot with his sword, so I feel like that could be something that Mii Sword Fighter does. And Shantae, while she does like whip her hair and stuff like that, I mean, it makes sense there. I mean, Dixie was a Mii cup.
I'm joking. Stop.
You see what I'm saying here? Like, I think a lot of these fighters are gonna be some kind of fighter rather than being a full-on fighter, like people have been saying. Like, for example, like Commander Video or something like that. So honestly, I feel like with the whole Cuphead thing, I like it, but at the same time, it is kind of bad news for people who want these indie reps in Smash, like, who want a full-on character. Because I mean, once again, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, and I think ultimately it is what it is. At the end of the day, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and if we get an indie rep, we get an indie rep. Maybe I'll make a video on that one day, I don't know. But I think having them being represented as Mii costumes is more than enough for people to kind of see it, because you gotta realize that these indie developers, this would be like their dream to have like their fighter in Smash Brothers, and they'll get to that point eventually. But I think a Mii fighter is a fantastic start that I would say a couple years ago wouldn't have even happened. Like, I don't know if Sakurai would have even considered it. The best we got in Smash 4 was we got a trophy for freaking Commander Video, and that's all we got. So I mean, shoot, man, we'll take what we can get at this point. And I think ultimately he did a good job representing it. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is there. I think that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. I think it's a good idea. I love the fact that Cuphead's in the game, and I love his costume. I think it looks fantastic. I also love how it comes with Floral Fury. I think if we keep doing that for other indie reps, I think that's a really good representation for the games, honestly. It's almost like they're in the game, it's just they're not officially in the game and they don't have their own moveset, but honestly it makes sense from that point of view. And with that, I can really see Minecraft Steve being in Smash as that, or like, I don't know, if they really want to go there, I guess they could have like a Fortnite.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Overwatch, for example, maybe they could have a Tracer Mii costume. costume. I'm just saying, like, a lot of these characters could just have Mii costumes. I think it's nice to separate the two from, like, it gives us a spectrum from Mii costume, assist trophy, who should be a spirit, and who should be a fighter. And, you know, maybe one day I'll go into more depth about that. But yeah, I think now we can add a whole layer of, hey, what is Mii fighter worthy? What is to be represented through a Mii fighter in a stage, like how Sans was done. So I think Sans was done amazingly. I think Cuphead was good. It was done amazingly. It is what it is. You know, I don't know why they decided to cut Mii Gunner and then put Cuphead in the same slot as freaking Shovel Knight, but I mean, okay, whatever. It is what it is.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
The final thing that I wanted to talk about when it came to this was DLC Fighter Pass 2. Now we didn't have just 5 more DLC characters, Fighter Pack 6 through 10, but we also got an 11th one. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, making 6 whole new fighters that we're gonna get, making a total, if I'm not mistaken, it's 11 fighters in general. Yeah, 11 fighters. I'm still kind of confused on that whole like 16 slot thing. I know there was people that said like, oh hey, maybe that was like the maximum like Sakurai would work on, and he just decided to work on 6 more characters. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, I was expecting this. It was cool that we get like 6 more new fighters. The fact that we're getting 6 in general is kind of wild. And all the DLC will be revealed, I believe it said the December of 2021. That's kind of crazy as well. That's a whole that's damn near 2 years from now. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. As to who gets announced, I like that we have this kind of hype train. Kind of replaces the very short hype train that was Smash Ultimate, because you guys know Smash Ultimate came out a while ago. It's almost like it's a new Smash game coming out, because we keep speculating on who's going to be DLC, and we can do this for at least 2 more years. So that's kind of crazy when it comes to that, and I like how Sakurai is doing that, because I was always of the people that was like, Smash 4 was a very hype time. Even if it aged poorly, it was still a good game when it came to the hype surrounding it and how many characters we're gonna get and yada 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 and this and that and all the cancer and the Bayonetta and stuff. And it was fun. It was fun to speculate this stuff, and I feel like now we can do that. I feel like that's dope. So I mean, I'm excited for that. Definitely expect more like character videos and things of that nature. Once again, I don't think I am going to talk about like DLC as a whole, because I've made 3-part series talking about the DLC fighters in Smash Brothers. If there's any leaks that come out, then I'll talk about that. But for the most part, that's going to be kind of it for me when talking about the DLC in general, of like what we're going to get, and what I want to get. I'll make separate things on like modes and stuff, talking about specific modes that would be cool in the game. But once again, Sakurai said, hey, there may not be modes, but there was a asterisk. It seemed like there was an asterisk over that. We may get a mode later on, because Sakurai can change his mind whenever he wants. I mean, we literally got an example in Direct. He literally said I was only gonna be doing like 2 or 3 characters, and now we just said F it, we're doing 6. So I mean, he can do whatever he wants, and that just shows. If like after all 6 DLC characters are announced, he has like a mode that's gonna come out that's like, oh, it's a new mode and it's this, then I can see it. Oh, man, 6 more fighters. Golly. Now my only question is, I know I shouldn't be that guy, but I'm still thinking, is that everything we're gonna get? I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about it like I'm being ungrateful, because I'm not. If he stopped at Fighter 6, I would not. Trust me. I am not a person that cares about characters in the roster already. I have the character that I want. Oh my god, he came! So I'm good on that front. I'm just saying, like, the fact that there are 15 slots in the roster, are we gonna get 1 more DLC pack of like 2 characters or something? I don't know. So it is what it is, but I'm just gonna enjoy what we have going on right now. I'm just gonna ride it out. I'm not gonna really talk about that anymore, because that's kind of unhealthy for me to do so, where we already have this going on, so we're focusing on that. The fact that there's like 80 plus characters in this freaking roster, this is like one of the largest like official fighting games that has one of the biggest rosters, man. It's freaking insane. I don't know who else they could add. I mean, obviously I know who else they could add, and I may do a video talking about like characters that I want, now that the whole like, oh, the character has to be third party is completely thrown out the window, and like we'll probably do some speculation video on Fighter Pass 2. I'm not 100% sure. We'll probably do that. But yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. I like the fighters. I like the fighter pass, and I'll never complain about, you know, too many characters. And I understand Sakurai wants to make this game as good as it can possibly be, and I think he's doing a fantastic job. So, oh man, we're gonna wait till Byleth comes out, and once Byleth comes out on the 28th, it's gonna be that, Chiefs. Other than that, once again, I think that's everything that was in the direct that it was interesting. The last thing I wanted to talk about, speaking of speculation, and I'm not gonna talk about this too much because maybe I'll probably just save this for another video, but there is something interesting, and that's the fact there were lots of Ubisoft reps in this Mii Fighter pass. It was very interesting. At the time, we didn't have any kind of Mii Fighter, we didn't have any Ubisoft anything in there. We had Rayman, I believe we had Rayman as a spirit, and there's probably Rabbids there as well. I remember that. But other than that, I don't know. It's really weird how they have, you know, we have, oh god, Altair, which I know is from the first Assassin's Creed. I'm just stupid. I'm sorry. I got confused because it says Smash Bros. X Altair. Usually that's the name of the series, the franchise they're representing. They should have said Smash Bros. X Assassin's Creed and not make me look like a freaking dumbass, but whatever, man. I've never played Assassin's Creed, alright? I played Unity once, and I know that's Ezio. God dang it, leave me alone, alright? Frick. Golly, bro. Golly, bro. But yeah, there was a lot of Ubisoft stuff. There was the Rabbids, there was Altair, and I don't know, and you know a lot of people want... I mean, shoot, anyone who can do that kind of is like a national treasure, you know what I mean? Even this started even before Smash 4 with the whole Artiomni leak. Yeah, it started even back then. So I mean, shoot, man, we could get Rayman in there. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I feel like if it's not Rayman, it'll be someone else. I feel like Rayman is some kind of Ubisoft. Like, yo, imagine if it's like Just Dance. Yo, wouldn't that be hilarious? We had Just Dance as a character in Smash Bros. Yo, you guys want Just Dance? Yo, what's Rayman to Just Dance, bro? I mean, Ubisoft loves Just Dance. We still got games coming out on the Wii, bro. You know they loving their Just Dance. Yeah, I'll make a video on like speculation who I think the last couple characters are gonna be. Other than that, yeah, that's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this episode and want to see what else is on the grill, you should check this whole playlist in the description below. I apologize that I've been gone for so long, but we back. We're doing the damn thing. And if you guys haven't, go check out the last video, which was the quote-unquote discussion video that we did with Darwin and Delta Masters X or whatever you want to call it. I have lots of videos coming out for y'all, so make sure to keep it going. I'm gonna try to have weekly stuff coming out for y'all. So here's to that. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna end things off. Thank you guys so much for watching. With all that being said, you can put your spatulas down now, but keep it sizzling, my Baconators. Peace.